Hi, I'm Marco Tangaro. I work for the CNR in Italy, and I'm going to present this application, this small utility that we are using in our cloud facility to deploy Galaxy under VPN. So what is Laniakea? Laniakea is a PaaS solution that we are using on our cloud provider. The idea is to use this solution to provide the Galaxy instances over the cloud. The user can configure the instance in terms of CPU, storage, memory, can configure also Galaxy, of course, then just to submit their request, and Galaxy will be provided it to them with an IP address. These are some of the technologies that we are using. Of course, Galaxy is the PaaS, the CVMFS to provide reference data. As we will see a little bit now, Vault and Lux to provide the encryption, and HTTP Condor to scale the instances if more compute power is needed. So among the other features, we are providing storage encryption on demand for the data, if of course the user wants to encrypt the storage associated to the virtual machine, and then we are storing everything is for us let's say sensitive, like storage encryption passphrases, but also user credential using HashProp Vault, which will protect everything. The last step that we want to give to our users is the possibility to isolate completely the instance also from the internet. So in this case, we have just to use the OpenStack projects that are deployed on OpenStack with a private network. So on OpenStack, each project has a dedicated private network. So what we need is a way to provide access to the users to this private network, possibly not using the VPN provided by the cloud providers. So for doing this, we need just two ingredients. So an orchestrator, so a way to deploy the virtual machine and configure Galaxy, and a VPN manager. In this case, we are going to use OpenVPN, and the PAM with OpenID Connect module, which will authenticate the user and check also the authorizations. Of course, OpenID Connect and an OpenStack platform. So this is the architecture that we are going to use. So initially, the user has just to configure its own application, so Galaxy. We can use Terraform. Of course, Terraform has just, let's say, command line tools, so there is no interface. Okay, we can use Laniakea, which is the object of this presentation, where the user has a nice graphical user interface where you can configure everything. Then we need on OpenStack a project, which of course is provided by the cloud administrators, with a bastion, which is configured for with double network, so a private network and the public one to exit from the to internet. For doing this, we are for the bastion configuration, we are also providing of course an Ansible role to deploy everything with just one command. Then the orchestrator tools, so Terraform or Laniakea, will deploy all the needed application, Galaxy, but in principle, any application can be deployed through the bastion in the OpenStack project. So the VM is deployed and the service is configured. In this case, of course, Galaxy. And finally, we are providing the VPN access to the users through, again, the bastion. So the user to the bastion is routed to its own Galaxy instance. So in this way, Galaxy is the Galaxy instance is controlled just by the user without the intervention of anyone on the cloud provider side. So this is the workflow we are going to use. Okay, so first of all, the user connects to its own VPN client. In this case, we have used the tunnel blick, and we will see it in the demo later. Then the VPN server will contact the PAM module installed on the VPN server will contact the user by mail and will send him a verification code. then the user can authenticate with its own OEDC credentials. And finally, the OEDC provider, which is in this case is the one provided by our infrastructure, but we will see there is some support later. The OEDC provider send the token to the VPN module, so to the PAM module. In this case, the PAM module can check the authentication of the users, but also to the authorization. If the user is authorized to connect to that virtual machine, all the connection is routed to the Galaxy, and Galaxy will appear. Why we are using PAM? So PAM is the module which is responsible on the Linux side to for the authentication. So we are using this PAM module with the OAuth to device flow, which is basically the one you are using on any, let's say, Bluetooth device, whatever. So to the user will be sent a code to the user which have to log in to the browser with the browser, and then the PAM model will check also if the user belongs to some groups. If the authorization say that the user belongs to the right group, the connection is routed. For the VPN client, we have for the VPN server, we have just few configuration. So of course, the endpoint configuration for the OEDC provider, the client ID credit seeker, and then just the group of the user. So actually, also the configuration is not requiring many fields. Okay, this in principle should be some screenshot of the OEDC providers. So basically, we have also provided support not only for IAM, which is the one which is used in Italy, but we also implemented EGI checking support and life science area support through educational entitlements presently. Yes, okay, that's one. So actually, we implemented also them, so we can look in with different open source or OEDC provider. Also, Google is supported. We don't test the entitlement with Google because just we need to pay to use them. Now, this is compatible not only with Laniakea that we will see later, but in principle also with Terraform, because the orchestrator service is just used to deploy the virtual machine. So we also created some very small Terraform recipe to deploy the virtual machine with Galaxy inside, and Galaxy is deployed to Cloud Init which is running the usual Ansible rows that we are using by the administrators. And if it's possible, I want to try to. Yeah, right? Okay. Yes. So that's the interface of Laniakea. The user will then it's supposed, yes. It's pretty. It's closing.
Going to the next slide.
No, because I put also the screenshot. This is the one that I want to. No.
You think just the pointer, the right button? No, in case it's also.
But this. It's going to be. Okay, better. Okay. And where I'm.
It's the pointer. It's here. The pointer is here. You have to go to.
Okay, I managed to take it back. So this is the interface. We are just going to select Galaxy with the VPN. Then here we have just to configure the instance, a name with a lot of fantasy. The resources, we just set up the password that we want to add. In this case, I use just Galaxy 23. Again, the brand with a lot of fantasy, and we have to submit the request. The request will take some time, of course, depending on the number of tools that you are going deploy. In this case, we have just a private network, and I would just to highlight that we have here Sebastian with the double NIC, here with the double interface. Then we have created the virtual machine. We try to log in to Galaxy, but nothing happens. So what we do is to try to enter with the SSH, but again, nothing can happen. So we download the OpenVPN file. Okay, we need to configure it in Tangaro just to import it, and we will try to enter it in the VPN. We will add our email address, and you will receive an email here with the link. You authorize the client, and you will be redirected to the VPN. Okay, and finally you can go with Galaxy, and of course you can access through the okay, that's all. Yes, now you have to switch again. Thank you. Oh. So yes. So
And then something you should. In that, when we get into the house.
okay. Okay, we are at the conclusion, like. So, so the main idea under this presentation is that we want to provide a very isolated environment. So we are trying to isolate it with the encryption, with the credential storage, and with the VPN. We don't want to have an environment just dedicated to Laniakea. For this reason, we are trying to extend everything to Terraform. Also, the encryption is provided, is completely provided through a separated module, so it has its own Ansible role that can be used. But the idea is that with a common user interface, the user can access to a bunch of very advanced features with just few clicks. That's all. Thank you. Thanks, Marco. I don't know how this one did. Someone try something.
Any questions? Maybe one quick question. We are running out of time. I am running around.
Awesome. So is the instance that is started inside the VPN, does it have full internet connectivity, or is that then also locked down?
No, currently there is just full internet connectivity. We want to try to lock everything also because we don't want to allow the data to exit. We are trying something about this, but currently the user has all the connectivity after the VPN is allowed.
And what do you do for reference data? Like
Is mounted through CVMFS.
okay.
Great. So let's thank Marco again.